So hi guys, how are you? So let's begin into the new session, and today we are going to study about the what we are going to study. Variables and data types. So let's go through our previous session first. And in the previous session, basically we have covered about the input functions in the Python and how it reads the input from the keyboard, and then how it is the default parameter, default data types of its parameter, and different ways of input functions and all. And before that, we have gone through the how we can print and all some basics concept about the Python. So but today's session going to be purely on to the data types and the variables, and what we are going to cover is basically variables and data types. So these are the things which we are going to cover, but I'm not going line by line everything. So what I'll do, I will be starting about the programs, like from the programs itself we'll learn each and everything. Okay, so let's begin. And before that, I will be giving some names and all. So I think here you can give that not the code. Basically, what I need first is basically the text, and I want to give some name, and what I want to give name, like hash, then variables and data types. Okay, and after that you can see the table of content. One index has been added as variables and data types. And now inside the data types there are many things. So first we'll going to name what we are going to learn. Basically we are going to learn about the variables variables in Python. So this is what we are going to learn. So inside the variables data type, we are going to learn about variables in the Python, and here I am going to start with some coding part, like what we can have. So start with the very basics. Suppose x equal to 20, and there is a equal to 4.7, and some address equal to India, sorry, and this I need to assign into, and maybe some name with any variable you can take, like a underscore Python underscore um, ball. Okay, some random variables, and I am going to write like boolean type true. Okay, and what now I'm going to print it. Suppose print x, sorry, x, then I want to print a. I'm just going to copy this 4 times at least, because we have 4 variables. Oh, I don't know how it got copied, but yeah. Then x, a, and then we have address, and then we have a underscore some bool type. What I'm going to write is basically I'm just going to print it. So here you can see it is printing all the values. Forget about why there is a red. I don't know. Maybe we can see it here. Okay, but yeah. So now what is the use of the variables? Variables is basically to hold the address of the memory location. So suppose for this in this example x equal to 20, 20 is going to be stored somewhere into the memory, and there is a address for that memory, and that address is being stored with the x variable in the reference. Okay, so reference is holding the address of the memory location. This is how the you mean I mean the variables are used. So this is what the uses of the variables. So now what I will do one more thing. What I'll do, I will try to check what is the data type for these. Okay, so for that I'm going to write print. Then in the last video, I think I have not covered, but I mentioned that I'm going to cover the type of every parameters, but not covered. But let's cover in this video basically. So e then address, then yeah. So now I'll try to run it. So here you can see that the the type of the every parameters is defined like x equal to 20. So it is all by default is taken as int, and a equal to 7.6, so it is taken as float. And then third one is address. We have mentioned some string type of value, so it is by default taken as a string. And the last one is like boolean. Okay, so what we learned from this. So in the other language, basically you need to provide the data type of the every variable, like in Java, int a equal to 10. So this is how you need to write it. But in the Python, everything is by default taken as object, and you no need to define the type of the variable. So Python internally understand that whatever the value you are going to assign, first it will check it what kind of value it is. Like it, if you have mentioned x equal to 20, the 20 will be seen by the by the Python. So it will take as an integer by default. You no need to externally mention this. So this is what the beauty of the Python. Okay, so now moving further. So if we write like this, suppose int b equal to 30. So, and see, you can see here I'm just going to print also. Okay, let's see whether it runs or not. No, it's saying that syntax, invalid syntax. Okay, so it is not allowed in the Python. I'm just commenting this. So this you cannot run in the Python. Okay, moving on to the next thing. Basically some basic rules we are going to study about, like some, what do you say, we can have something like first comment naming rules for variables basically. And here we are going to check that what's the rule is given by the Python. Basically you have, suppose any variable like hello. Okay, or suppose any variable you can take like jw underscore var equal to 30. Okay, this is also allowed. You did not get anything. And then you have mentioned some under started the variable name as underscore underscore abc hello, that is also allowed. And then numbers, suppose uh, bca, some numbers equal to 25. So this is how you can define the variable names. There are certain rules, basic rules you need to keep into the mind, like underscore is uh, I mean valid, and you can start the variable name with the underscore, and then you can add some random numbers also with the variable names. So these are things which are allowed. And what is not allowed? Okay, suppose you have given some started the variable name is 3, suppose, and then uh, where name equal to some sk. This is not allowed. So it is saying that statement must be separated by new lines or semicolon. Okay, so let's try to print it, like whether it is working or not. Then that also we can verify it. And okay, so what it is saying that file name 3 var name sk is invalid decimal literal. Okay, so you cannot have a variable name starting with the numbers. So this is not allowed. Okay, let's try to rerun this. Yeah, this is allowed. So we have discussed about what is allowed and what is not allowed. And hyphen also not allowed. Suppose you cannot write something like hello hyphen var name equal to 10. This is also not allowed. As you can see, we got just error. Okay, and something like class equal to uh, hello. This is also not allowed because class is internal keyword, I believe. Okay, so class is like reserved keyword, so that is also not allowed. So these are the things which are not allowed. Okay, and next maybe we can have something like what we can have there are multiple uh, ways to use variables. Okay, so in this we'll see some good practice of the coding. Suppose you have three variables a b c comma d. Okay, then how you can assign the values 90, 80, 70, then 60, and somewhere I did a mistake. Yeah, like this you can assign. And try to if you try to print it, let's see what it print. These are some cool ways of assigning the variables and using them. So these are the beauty of the Python, you can say. So I'll do b, then c, then d. Not decode, man. D. Sorry, d. I'll just try to run this, and you can see instance in the single line you assign the four variables to the values. Okay, and something like if you want to assign the same like Suppose there are three variables, you want to assign the same values. Okay, so you can like something, you can write something like uh, okay, assign same value. So how I can write like this, and if I try to print this, okay, what it is saying that this is not allowed. So in this way you cannot do, but there is another way, like equals, then equals, then equals. So this is how you can write. Yeah, the same value has been assigned to all the four variables. Okay, now we'll learn about one of the most common question asked by the interviewer most of the time basically. So what is that? Swapping two variables. So you might have heard into the other languages this program, you might have already done it, but in Python basically this is so simple that you cannot even imagine. Okay, suppose you have two variables x comma y, and there are some values you have written 50 comma 10. Okay, first I need to print it, x comma y. Now what I want to swipe this. So what you need to do, in just single line you can comment, you can, fulfill this requirement. Sorry, y comma x, and you can just print it. Let's see. So earlier the value of the x was 50 and the value of the y was 10. Now you can see x have 10 and the y having 50. So don't you think this is so cool? Hmm. Yeah, some more examples we are going to learn basically. Suppose you have x comma y, then you have some values like 10 comma 40 comma 50. Means you are trying to assign three variables to the three values to the two variables. So this is not allowed. It will say that value error, and value error is basically one of the most common errors. Somewhere you will see most of the places that value error. It means either too many values to unpack, or somewhere the syntactical error, there also you will get the value error. So this is not allowed in the Python. Okay, so I just commented it. And next is like what you can do. Suppose you have some crazy kind of style, like a comma b comma c, and you want to assign some numerical values, and then you want to assign some uh, string type of value. Okay, and then you want to assign some to the third variable, you just want to assign some uh, float kind of, and then you want to assign some boolean type of. So a b c comma d. Okay, so what you did, you assigned four values to the four variable into a single line. Okay, and you want to print it. So what you need to write for the print, you just need to write the print a comma b comma c comma d. Let's see. So, don't you think it's so cool? 10, hello, 3.5, and true. In a single line, you have assigned the four values to the four variables. Okay, yeah. And just a single rule, like if you trying to assign, suppose you have two variables, and suppose you have three variables, and you are trying to assign to the uh, four values, that is not possible. So that will give error. Means how many number of values, that many number of variables should be present in the onto the left side. So that should be the equal. Okay, I'm just going to comment this. Okay, so other problem is like hmm, suppose x equal to none. Okay, and then you want to print it, print x, print x, and then you want to see the print type, type of what, type of x. Let's see what happens. So what it is saying that first it has printed the value of the x, which is none, and the class is none type. Okay, so none is the type in the Python. Okay, so you need to keep into the mind, like if you are assigning some none, then that is the type in the Python. We'll see some more examples. Suppose x equal to none. Okay, no, none. Then you have y, or y equal to true. Then you have z equal to false. Okay, so in the first line itself it has given the error that name none is not defined, so you cannot assign none to any of the variable. Okay, I'm just going to comment now. Line number 2, or second line, you can see y equal to true. Why it is saying that in identif identification error, unexpected indent. Okay, so you cannot assign a true or false. You need to write something like this, which is supported by the Python. Okay, so we just seen the some use cases which are not allowed. So these things are not allowed into the Python. Next, what we can see, so there are some things which are supported once you import some system libraries. So in order to see those examples, first you need to write import sys. Okay, and then suppose uh, x equal to 1 2 3 4, or 4 2 ka 1, anything you can write. Then print sys dot get size of, get size of what, x. Let's see, it is saying 28. Why 28? Why 28, guys? The reason being, no doubt Python is a good programming language, but there are some drawbacks of the Python also, which is we were going to learn. So suppose if I have a value of, see, 32, 40, are you seeing how these values are changing? So Python does lot of, Python takes a lot of memory spaces into the I mean into the memory. So they assign the values. So base is basically for integer. They how they manage, they reserve the 28 byte. Okay, 28 byte is reserved for the integer type. When you add some more values, then 28 plus some more I need to add, then it will add just 4 more byte. 28 plus 4, 32. 32 plus 4, 36. So that is totally depend upon your length of or the size of your integer. So but in Python it takes 28 bytes of memory for your just single value. Okay, which is I think not good. Similarly we have um, there are basically four types of data type into the Python. So we have x, now we have suppose y equal to just h I will write. Okay, and then I will write x equal to suppose 2.21. Okay, y equal to some true. Enter, tab. So what I am doing in this example, basically first value I've taken the integer. I'm going to check size of each and every uh, data type basically. So you can see for the first integer it has taken as 28 byte, for the string it has taken 50 byte, for the float it has taken 24, and for the boolean it has taken 28 byte. So we will be studying further about these concept, how it works in the memory basically. But for now, just just for information, just keep in mind that this is the by default data types, or the by default memory it takes into the you know memory aggregation into the. There are two types of memories like heap and stack. So reference is stored into the stack, and actual value like 3 will be stored into the heap. So keep this concept into the mind, how it is stored the values. Now we will study about like what else, how to delete a variable. Okay, we'll write some code here and we'll see it from the program. X equal to 30, then suppose I want to print x. Let's try to print it. 30 is got printed. Now I'll in the Python there are some inbuilt function. You can see there are number of, but in this example we are going to use only the delete one. So with the delete you can see in the third line I'm going to just delete it and just going to print it again. So what it's saying, once you delete it, it cannot find that x in the memory. So it is saying an x is not defined, means once you delete it, after that x is not found, means till the line number 2 it is available, but line number 3 it is not available. So you have to keep this into the mind that how it works. Okay, so it is saying as name error, name x is not defined. Okay, we can note it down here. We can just so guys, what we have seen is basically like after deleting that variable is not present and it gives the error. Okay, so we cannot print it. So I'm just going to mark it as comment because it will not work, just for reference. Okay, so now what we'll do, we'll take one more example here and we'll try to do it. Okay, suppose you have a variable name q equal to 30 and you want to, you just deleted it, delete q. Okay, and then you want to print q. Okay, let's see again, same error. So you got the idea, right, how it works basically. Now we'll go towards another concept, which is basically a constant. You might have already heard, but let's cover it. Okay, I'm just going to write here uh, Python constants. Okay, so basically, maybe you were aware or not, but let's go through it. So, how the Python define the constant? Basically, there Python don't have any, but if you want to define it, but this is how you can define. Suppose AI equal to 3.1234 something. Okay, 3.14. Let's take the some mathematical example, 3.141459 something. Okay, and you want to just print it. Okay, let's print it. So it has printed the values, and similarly, like you have like di, and then you have same values to print like 3 dot 3.14, and you want to print di. Yeah, the values got printed, but uh, the reason is, so I am telling because there is no constant available in the Python. So this is how whatever the value is sent, that will be printed at as it is. So this was the one more, it's very small but constant we should be knowing about, but there are no. So that was for set, that's it for this video basically. Next we will be covering about the data types. Okay, as the next topic our is different data types. I will finish this video soon, and next we'll start with the data types. So till that time, thank you everyone, keep learning.